Alexander Walker Scott's contribution to Australian entomology was quite significant. He described some truly iconic Australian moths in their immature stages in biology. Until Scott, most of the taxonomic work in the early 1800s on Australian moths and butterflies was done by English taxonomists or European taxonomists. This was based purely on pinned or papered dry insects sent back from the colonies. Scott was one of the few early workers to provide images and information on the caterpillars, many of which are as beautiful and unique as the adult insects that so excited these earlier taxonomists. Walker Scott was the first to describe several large and beautiful moths, such as the bent-winged swift moth. Many of these moths do not fly to light or have very short flight periods in the wild, which is probably why they were overlooked by the earlier collectors. The larvae of these species tunnel in living trees, leaving distinctive damage. Scott and his daughters were obviously experts in detecting these larvae and rearing out the adults. While Walker Scott had received some formal training in entomology, he sometimes seemed a bit out of touch with knowledge of the day. Many of the species to which he assigned new names to were already well known to entomologists, including common and conspicuous butterflies such as the blue triangle and pale green triangle. But this naivety sometimes gave way to significant discoveries. For example, he was the first to describe another Australian icon, the emperor gum moth, even though this large and common moth must have been encountered by earlier collectors. The work of the Scotts opens a window into the history of collecting in early colonial Australia and highlights their close relationship with the Australian Museum. They donated many specimens to the museum, including the original or the type specimens used in the descriptions of new species, and Scott himself became a museum trustee in 1864.